And when we had our off-screen talk, man, you talked about the lack of mentors in the community. So I feel
Right.
like we should start off right there, man. And you talked about how you learned everything and mostly everything from your brothers.
Right.
So let's get into that. Let's talk about definitely in. I know for sure I'm a Cleveland public school kid. You're a Cleveland public school kid. Alex went to high school. So Cleveland Heights High School. So talk to us about like how do you feel like the impact of having a mentor at a young age affects you and helps you grow?
You know, for me, having a mentor is kind of like having a second parent, right? Most of our, the kids, people who come from the same background as we do, they'll come from, family structures where the parents are constantly working. We don't have time to, what I mean? You just better make sure you got, you're doing your schoolwork and you're good. They don't have time to check up on who you're hanging out with and, making sure that you're actually, passing classes, but, having that mentorship, with someone is kind of having somebody who holds you accountable in the same way as, a parent would, right? I was fortunate to find that, in my brothers, because I always looked up to my brothers, but not everyone can say they look up to their brothers. You know what I mean? So I would say find that within, let's say, when you're out about in the world, right? Don't just, be out and about in the world. Be present. Search for what you're looking for. You know what I mean? When you have conversations with people, don't just have conversations with people. Pick their brain. And then if you find somebody that has that seems to have knowledge that you want, ask that person to be your mentor. You know what I mean? And it takes humility to seek mentorship. It takes humility to ask somebody to be your mentor. But I tell you, even I'm big on reading Bible and things like that. But pride goes before the fall, right? Even if you don't know, that stuff, when you can sense when somebody thinks they're like high and mighty when they're really not, right? When you feel that, nobody wants to be around you. You know what I mean? Even your friends won't really be your friends. They're just there just because, they have nothing else to do.
Beneficial for their time at that time being.
Yes. So I would say as you go out and about in the world, be intentional about what you're seeking. Right? Be present. When you talk to people, when you have conversations, try to have conversations with people who don't come from the same background as you, or from people who you think seem like they have knowledge that you would want. And when you do have these conversations, pick their brain. Submit yourself a little. It's hard for us as Black men, right? It's hard for us as Black men to not, be kind of have a little machismo complex a little bit. It's natural. It's in our DNA, actually. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to. The biggest thing is you can do for yourself is to learn how to master that, to know when to turn that down and when to turn it off, because it's actually not a disability; it's a strength to be able to have that dog in you, as they say. All Black men have it, but our problem is we don't know when to turn it off and when to be submissive. There is a time for everything. There's a time for submission and there's a time to be a dog. You got to know those times, so I was able to find my mentorship, my mentorship opportunities from my brothers because I looked up to them and they helped lead me to places that they've already been. But if you don't have that ability to look up to your elder siblings or brothers, go out into the world and find one. There's anything you look for in the world, you'll find it.